Hello students, welcome to another video on the chapter Metals and Non-Metals for class 7 chemistry. We are dealing with the last part of the chapter, that is metalloid. Let us begin. So you might be knowing that metalloids are the elements which have the property between the metals and the non-metals. So the properties of metalloids are intermediate between the metals and non-metals. We can state it like that. Also, there are around 6 metalloids. So they are having some property of the metals and some of the non-metals. And these 6 metalloids that we have include silicon, boron, germanium, arsenic, antimony and tellurium. Now, in the Earth's crust, the most abundant metalloid is silicon. You all might have seen sand, right? Sand is nothing but silicon dioxide that we have. So, if we study the properties of metals, what would it be? Metals are solid. So, metalloids also, if we are talking about the properties of metalloids, then metalloids are also solid, like metals. But they are brittle. So easily breakable, that is, and they are also having shine and luster. Silicon, germanium and tellurium, they conduct electricity under the proper conditions, and they are also called the semiconductors because they somewhat conduct electricity, and also their conductivity is little less in case of heat than the metals. They are not malleable, they are not ductile nor sonorous. These are the special properties of metalloids which are not present in the metal. These are the special properties of the metals which are not present in the metalloids. If you haven't seen the video of metals, you please check that out. Now these are having the densities, melting and boiling points, all are somewhere between the metal and the non-metal for the metalloids. Now, what is the use of this metalloids? Most of it, as they're semiconductors, they're used in the electronic industry, and they are having or forming, you can say, the essential component of computers and mobiles. Now, we'll talk about some of the important metalloids like silicon. It is used as a semiconductor and it forms the microchips. These are very thin pieces of chips which are used in the making of the circuits of mobiles and computers, and then they are also used as silicates in making glass. And then we have boron, which is the very important compound for making boric acid, borax, and they are used in making washing powders, bleaches, glass and so on. Also, you know that germanium is another semiconductor and it is used in many electrical appliances around us. And antimony, again, it is used as a semiconductor, sometimes paints and alloys, and also as a flame retardant in plastic so that it doesn't catch fire and become you can say flame resistant. Now, and the next topic for discussion will be inert gases. Now the inert gases, they are put in the rightmost side of the periodic table. Here they are also gases and 6 in number: helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. These are the inert gases that we have, and they are found in traces. So they are called the rare gases because they are found in very less amount in the atmosphere. Also they are unreactive because they are more stable, and so they are called the inert gases. Now, speaking about some of the uses of your inert gases, helium being the common one which is being used now in the weather balloons. Before we were using hydrogen balloons. Now, because they used to catch fire, it's been replaced by helium. Neon is another gas, inert gas, which is used in the fluorescent lights, as you can see here. This is a type of a fluorescent light which is seen in the signboards like this in hotels, in buses. On the top you can see the names. They are mostly made up of this neon and argon bulbs. And argon is used for welding stainless steel and filling the electric bulb. They all have the unique color to them. And then radon is another inert gas which is used for treating cancer. So with this we have finished the chapter of metals and non-metals. We also discussed about metalloids and inert gases, which are one of the parts in the periodic table, which consists of all the different kinds of 118 elements. So I hope you are clear with the concept. Thank you for watching.